I can count on my fingers the number of microbrands that have sent me more than one watch to review. Despite similar viewership and engagement metrics, some channels have essentially become brand ambassadors, while my honest takes seem to push those same brands away. I don't kiss ass, even for a free watch, and that doesn't sit well with the companies that see reviewers as mere marketing tools. That's why, without any hint of pretentiousness, I say this. The microbrands that return to this channel are worth your attention. They value critical feedback. And perhaps no other brand deserves that compliment more than Golby. You see, my review of their debut model was not stellar. There were flaws I wasn't going to gloss over, and I didn't. So when Craig came back asking me to review his sophomore release, it spoke volumes about his character. But ethics and character alone don't make a great watch, so let's see if Craig took my Aquareef feedback to heart and delivered something better with the Coastal. The most striking thing about the Coastal is its use of color. Inspired by the bright beach huts along England's southeastern shore, this is a vacation watch through and through. Pair it with one of the vibrant FKM straps from their store and you've got a fun, carefree accessory. But take one look at the all-black version and you'll see that the Coastal isn't just about playful aesthetics, it has depth. It's fascinating how much this watch transforms based on color. The lively versions scream summer, while the monochromes take on a sleek, refined look. It's testament to how much design choices impact perception. The case deserves more than a passing mention because it's actually quite original. The long lugs and 20mm spacing between them give it proportions similar to the Trusca commuter, making it appear larger than it is. But then the bicolored bezel creates the opposite illusion. It makes the watch look smaller by reducing the perceived dial size. The end result? A watch that wears true to size despite the visual trickery. Speaking of size, the monochrome versions look longer rather than larger due to the lack of contrast. It's a subtle but interesting design effect. The crown, while well proportioned, could be a little more substantial. That said, its placement is spot on. The bezel features well-executed notches that mirror the markers on the dial and insert. And speaking of the insert, Craig made a smart move by opting for a countdown timer instead of the usual diver scale. Now, let's talk about the real star of the show. It's special. I've handled a watch with a similar oil-pressed wave pattern and a comparable teal color before. The Henry Archer Agfa, one of the most popular models from one of the most popular microbrands. And yet this is better. Sure, the pattern isn't as sharply defined and it lacks some of the finer details, but it doesn't look plasticky, which is more than I can say for the Agfa or other watches. And the color? You have to see it in person. No picture does it justice. Hold it in different lighting and it comes alive. One of my biggest criticisms of the Aquareef was the undersized markers. Craig listened. The Coastal's markers are far more balanced. Another solid choice, the hands. They're original and highly legible, a win for both design. If there's one area where I'd have gone a different route, it's the bracelet. There's nothing inherently wrong with a pseudo-jubilee, but something more modern would have better matched the watch's contemporary design. That said, the 5-link construction is well executed and the bracelet fits seamlessly between the lugs. Overall, the fit and finish of this watch is a clear improvement over the Aquareef. Despite some half-click backplay, the bezel action is impressive, well-weighted, crisp, and offering satisfying haptic feedback. And remember how I roasted the Aquareef's lack of lume on the bezel? Craig didn't just fix it, he overcompensated in the best way possible. The Coastal's bezel is now fully lumed, and he upgraded from Tritech to Superluminova. Now that's the kind of response I like to see. Golby also switched from the Seiko NH series to a Miyota 9 series movement, an upgrade in itself. But the specific choice, the 9OS5, is interesting. It's usually found in open heart watches because of its decorative upper plate and exposed wheel, but beyond aesthetics, it also offers better shock resistance and greater hand clearance than the more common 9039. And thanks to its closed screw-down caseback, Craig managed to keep the watch's thickness just a hair over 10mm. This is the moment where some will decide against the Coastal, but others, they'll be sold. Let me explain. I might be in the minority among watch enthusiasts with larger wrists. Mine is 19cm, but I don't mind wearing this watch. I know many prefer watches that dominate their wrist, making their hands look smaller in the process. If that's you, the Coastal isn't your watch. But if you're comfortable wearing 34, 36, 38mm pieces, you'll love it. And maybe, just maybe, this isn't a watch for you at all, but for someone close to you. A kid you want to introduce to the hobby, a partner you'd like to share your passion with. Either way, I'll leave a link to the Kickstarter campaign in the description. Thanks for watching. See you soon.